Hello. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Disky Chats podcast. Thank you for those guys who've been keeping up with us. Thank you for the support and the love. Really do appreciate it. Please, as well, don't forget to share it with your friends, share it with your family, and whoever Disky lovers around the world, Disky lovers who love to talk about your local football, Disky buffet too. Yeah, welcome back, guys. It is an exciting week ahead. Looking at the preview for the match against Kaizer Chiefs and Cape Town City. Well, it's the last game of the season for both these teams. We are reaching the finale. It's the final match. All things to talk about. There's a lot of things, interesting things that have been happening during the week as well. Case preparation for this. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. Before we go any further, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell to get more of these insights and more of these conversation on a weekly basis. Now, before we go to the match, it's been an exciting or an interesting week, let me say, because obviously, we're looking at wrapping up the league. So this game, it's very interesting in terms of the both camps, what's been happening and what we can expect from the match. For me, obviously, we know, looking at things, this is a battle for the top four. So both these teams are looking to finish strong. And obviously, looking at the both camps, the other one is smiling better than the other. Looking at the season that is coming gone. For me, I'll start with the Kaizer Chiefs because the Kaizer Chiefs, Vele, that we know hasn't really lived up or the season that they would have liked to have. I mean, you heard from Umangete saying um, this is the season they would like to forget. And looking at the scenes from last week with the fans not being too happy, apparently he was thrown with amabhodlela or bottles hurled at him. Security had to escort him out of the stadium. So you can tell that the mood psychologically is not the best. So for me, one thing I know for sure, I am certain of, is that Kaiser Chiefs at the moment are a wounded animal. He's come out and saying he's fine. Apparently, he's not really that hurt, and he's also come out and saying that he, as a coach as well, he's actually admitted that he's made a lot of mistakes throughout this season. So, hence, I'm saying that one manager or coach or team in this instance is smiling better than the other. Look, Captain City is a good side coming to them, right? So for me, they're a good side, but what I've seen or what we've noticed is that they could have had a better season. If you had to tell me before the season has started, which team would you have picked to be in either the top three? Captain City's name would have come up to some extent, looking at the squad that they had initially, and also the new player that came in, because I think they brought in two South Americans in between the season. They developed a young striker as well. So there was a balance, and they have really creative guys in their team. So we'll get to that, but just wanted to be able to start off with the mood of the camp. So um, I think for me, why I'm saying they would be smiling, because they didn't have a good season starting off in the first round of matches, where they've spent majority of, I think, the first 10 to 15 games, they were on the bottom of the log. There was a time where they were the number 16, I think, at the time, and Kaiser Chiefs Day was actually at number 4. So when you look at how the season has gone for them, I think it's a huge improvement coming from like between 14, 15, 16, all the way to challenge for the top 4. So for them, they would look their season and say, look, we've brought in a couple of new players. We've lost a few at the same time, which is quality, like Koralan in the previous season. So also there's been a few technical changes as well. I don't know if Tinkle is abandoning the approach where we saw them last season in the MTN 8 final challenging Sundowns. The way they're aggressive, way of play that they had, attacking manner in which they applied themselves. That's something I think it's been lacking this season. A bit of inconsistencies here and there. I'm not too sure if it's because of suspension, injuries, or even form. We've seen Mduduzi Mtansana, who is also, by the way, linked with Kaizer Chiefs, having to come off the bench. He hasn't been a starter this season. So those are the kind of things I think has contributed to what could have been the one of, not really the worst, but it's not the best season at the same time. So this match has a lot of I guess emotions. I think it would be personal for them, just to wrap the season up very nicely. But let's start off with Kaizer Chiefs. Looking at the tactical shape, what we can expect to see this week. For me, look, Kaizer Chiefs has been very, very inconsistent when it comes to their lineup. So don't be surprised once more if you see a few changes. Because the only thing that we know is that Dove Wome came out, I think, second half in the previous match against Supersport, where it felt like there was a niggling injury, but we hadn't heard any reports that he's not available for this week, unless maybe there's a last minute change. Apart from not seeing him in the lineup, you could either see Ungobo or you can see Ukwinika. Now, for me, that could be detriment to them. That could really, really be an issue for them because, as you would know, they've been suspect in regards to defensive errors, lack of chemistry, communication has been lacking, and a bit of maturity there. Dove is the only player that really knows how to connect the back four. So they really are frail in some areas, and they've been really, really making very silly mistakes. That's been the talk of their season. Every game, you'll know one or two chances are going to be really suspect. I mean, look at it. For example, the last game. If you had to look at the last game, Kwinika came in, started making three or four passes were wrong passes. They almost were decision maker kind of passes where he looked very nervous of form and mesh fitness as well. Maybe a bit psychologically he's not okay. Maybe it was rushed. We don't even know if he did even warm up before he came in. So for me, he's been one of the defenders in the squad of defenders that they have. He's been one of the defenders that's actually been contributing to him not being many mistakes have come from him. At times he's been lost. There hasn't been a bit of maturity for him. So him actually being signed, we haven't seen him come out and actually prove that why did Kaizer Chiefs sign you back. So if you have that set up, so for me, if Ngezan has been quite stable there, Frosla has been good, Shanti automatic selection for him. That's the only change I see. Either you can see Ungobo or you could see Ukwinika. Now, Ustebe for me and Umar, I know definitely they won't change those two. So I was expecting for them to come with a 4-3-3 where they actually bring in the young Zwane because it's the last game. There's nothing to really, there's nothing to lose. There's no reason for you to have two guys protecting the defense a bit much. You can have Ustebe protecting the defense and you have Uzwane and Umar playing an attacking role. Then for me, take Solomons out because, for me, Uzwane has been accused of favoritism and I've been defending him to some extent. And I think that's something that we can look into because I do not know for the life of me why we keep creating positions for some players. If you want to put on Solomons, if you feel Solomons deserves a selection, take out to Forsler. Finish. You bought him because you wanted to have at least two players in one position. So you creating a position for me in attack, I don't understand. When you still have Usekhoto, when you still have Umatlo, you still have representative in that department. So for me, if he's going to go for that again, where Solomons is playing right wing, that could also limit the attacking chances. Because let's be fair, Unless they're saying we want to nullify Khanyiso Mayo there if he's going to be playing either on the right or the left. Maybe it's a tactical change. But the last two games, I do not understand why he was there. Against Pirates, he played a good game. Super Sport, they were very, very, they lacked teeth, man. I don't know if they really lacked an attacking, a lot of attacking ideas there and a lot of creativity. So Solomonzi, he can give you a 3 out of 5, as opposed to if you had a Mato where he's more attack minded. That's his position. That's where he can click with other guys. They can adjust very quickly. So his adjustment is not as quick as other attacking players because he's always been used as a wing back. Let's use him if we don't have any players playing in that situation or in that position. Injuries, suspensions, maybe if you've got a red card. So I don't think there's enough planning there because if his plan A doesn't work, there's no plan B. They still need to go and try to play the swing play that they've been playing. So right wing for me, Solomon's. On the left, if he sticks to Christian, then Usaile, then he plays to Preez in the front, then Uzofagum to Duzi. For me, that 4-3-3, no, my one, apart from Solomon's, I would put in Christian on right wing so he can cut in, put in Schota for low crosses or for him to take on players and use Paysaga to Preez at the same time. So you have that 3, 10, the young Umtutuzi Shabalala, and we have enough creativity with Uzane going forward. Then you just have Ustable protecting the midfield, or the defense rather. So you have enough players. Mark, his energy and all that, even though he's not a favorite of mine. So for me, if that's the lineup he's likely to go with, we can actually see something. We can actually see either getting themselves a draw or either maybe getting themselves winning 1-0, 2-1. But I don't see them not conceding, and I don't see them winning 2-0 straight with how the season has gone and how they've struggled against against the Cape Town City. They don't have a good record against them, yeah? And they wounded. Remember, they wounded players there mentally. I don't think they are ready. I don't think the players mentally, they'll be shaking because they're playing at home, fans are not happy, they'll be too rushed to make a lot of things. Trust me on that. The players are very nervous. I don't think they'll be relaxed because the result will be playing in their minds too much. There's going to be a lot of stop and go as usual, a bit more nerves, rush decisions and all that. Instead of playing their normal game, being relaxed, it's the last game of the season, whether you lose or win, with players, fans can't, there's nothing much they can do apart from this. So that's the kind of ideas I have for you guys. You can leave a comment in the section below, so you can just let me know, what do you guys think the potential lineup that we can see? Do you see any changes? Do you see them sticking to the same formation because the fans were not happy, even though they played a bit better against Pirates? Super Sport, it was a different bouquet. Now, looking at Cape Town City, I won't really, also they are suspect with changing a lot of things there. But I just want to talk about the approach instead of the lineup itself, because they, Tinkler, for me, if you watched the game against the Sundowns, I want to talk about the Sundowns game because they actually won against Richards Bay. So for them, they more was of they played a transition football a lot, but I love how they were not when they were defending. When you come into their own into their own half, that's where they pressed a bit higher, a bit quicker, close those spaces for Sundowns so they don't play in those pockets. So for me, if they bring the same mentality, because Kaizer Chiefs this season has also liked having the ball a bit more. So they like to play even though in patches. So they want to also, you can tell that there's an identity they want to string along, where they'd like to play in those pockets, play a bit of transition, not transition, but being a ball playing team as well. So they've also the personnel that know how to hold the ball a bit more, skillful as well. So I'm expecting Tinkler to be more cautious in a sense where he can play in transition, absorb the pressure, be defensive, and play on transition, because he does have Abu Gonzalez, Khanyiso is skillful and a very, very pacey winger. You have the young Hudeman that he likes. He's been playing him a lot, by the way. I'm not sure if Tabo know that as well. There's, I think there's Ambina or Umani, sorry, the striker, the lone striker, because he might use him for as a target man. So obviously we have either also Seben Sulake, because I heard Ukotino is, I think he's suspended. So he might use Ufanir then as a left central back, and Lake can actually also push forward, and you have Kaizer on the right. So those are the things you can say. For me, it's going to be interesting because you would have Frosla Atlantim pushing up a bit more as well. So it could be an open game. It could be also an interesting a game. The midfield battle for me is going to be important because if we have Sebe switched on that day, and you have Umukeke being introduced or Ambina, either or, and I think there's I think you Makaune, I think how you spell it from Cape Town City. So for me, that's the midfield battle. That's the pot in the mix there you can expect. So if we don't actually see them or both of them being very, very cautious and defensively being more concerned about each other, you could find that for me that could be a draw because it could be a stalemate where either a set piece, free kick, corner is the only decider apart from that. But we know Kaizer Chiefs, they've been very, very, very fragile in that department. They are very, 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 they make a lot of mistakes when it comes to set pieces. They haven't been really showing that they can actually defend against those kind of set pieces. So when it comes to them having to set up very well or be more organized, for me, if Kune can be given a chance, maybe we can see a bit of maturity because Peterson hasn't been clicking for them. So for me, that's the kind of setup you can see. That's the kind of tactical changes or approaches that you can see. And with key players for me that you can expect goals from. Kaizer can fancy himself because right now he's deadlocked with Pisa Shalulile for the leading goal scorer of the season. So one goal in takes him one above Peter. So he'll be the key man for them. I'm guessing he's going to be a problem, someone who's going to be looked as a focal point because in the previous game, he was used as a lone striker for that. And also for me, I would say Utabo not that because we don't know if Mtutunim Tansane is going to be given a chance. But for me, that is a very, very interesting player. Second half, if he gets introduced, that's the one player that can actually look out for and struggle because he can give you an assist and he can actually give them a problem because he's very, very good on his feet. When he has the ball on his feet, I'm getting allowed to. So for me, those are the people that from Cape Town City you can expect. I think they can give them problems. Then Kaizer Chiefs, I'll tip was Tebe to stable the midfield. Kagnane, Preez still, for me, one of the top guys there in regards to who can actually give them something or create something out of nothing. And for me as well, those are the two guys I can think of. Yeah, apart from the defensive shape that you can see. So if I were to give you a prediction in this game, I would say that either 1-1, 0-0, let me say 1-1, because both sides possibly can concede, because Lorenzo Coutinho for me is the only defender apart from Phillies that actually helps them a lot. Then if I were to go for a win, seeing that there's so much pressure on Kaizer Chiefs to win this game and to put smiles on the fans' faces, I would give it to them for a 2-1 win if I were to choose which one would actually win. So that's my analysis. That's my thoughts on the game ahead for tomorrow. Let me know on the comment section. Please share the video with aspiring football lovers, and as well keep liking the show. The channel, keep supporting the show. Really appreciate it. Catch you on the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye bye.